All right, welcome back, y'all. So it's been a little while since I've done a video, and the reason why I was thinking about this is because I've actually been testing this for quite a little bit now. But if you have been watching any of the SHOT Show coverage, which is there's been a ton lately. Oh my gosh, it's like every YouTube channel in the world has to cover it. But anyway, one of the main channels I like to watch is TFB TV and TFB TV Showtime, which is their like trade show kind of channel, right? But anyways, the reason why that caught my interest is because, well, one, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out of SHOT Show, but two, the Fletcher Rifle Works guys had a booth set up there to which they were showing off their new line of 1122 receivers. And as everyone knows, I'm a big fan of 1122 receivers. So they were showcasing their new top cover and also their takedown models too, which is a big step forward for them because that is something that like I'm pretty sure a lot of the early customers had requests for. It was like, hey, I love the concept that like, can you put like a removable top rail or pick rail on top of the gun somehow, or can you make it work with the 1022 takedown models and all of that? So that's actually something that I requested very early on, and I have one of the earlier models of receiver here, definitely, and that's one of my feedbacks that I had for the engineers there at Fletcher or FRW. Was, hey, can you guys please make a Picatinny rail top cover, because that would be really nice. Because with the original design, it was actually kind of hard to mount a scope properly to this receiver because the pick rail was in just kind of a weird position where it wasn't really conducive to having a scope on there, and you couldn't really do like a scout scope either because it was just in the wrong position. It was perfect for a red dot, which was the original intention of the original design, as per what the original engineer said in his own videos that he has a channel for it as well. So it makes perfect sense that the early models were like that. However, they have progressed since then, and this is the topic of this video. So I've been working on Fugly 2.0, right? And here is a kind of an example that you've already seen from the other video that I just posted. However, with a few little updates here, including the railed top cover, as you can see there. It's got a nice little rail on it, and it's got a vortex scope on it. Ooh. And of course my suppressor on there as well. So this is a very short, handy little package, as you can see there. I don't think I'm going to keep the scope on this. This is a Vortex 1-6 Strike Eagle. I have quite a story behind this scope as well. But long story short, so my original Strike Eagle that I got years ago from a friend of mine, he didn't want it anymore, so he gave it to me. And the illumination inside the reticle had broken. So I was like, okay, well, Vortex has a pretty good warranty, right? I mean, they're industry famous for their warranty. So I sent the original Vortex 1-6 Strike Eagle back to them. And and no less than, I think it was like 4 days or something. They were so fast. In 4 days, I didn't even like check my email or nothing. It just showed up on my door, and I was like, holy cow, that's fast. They sent me the most current generation Strike Eagle free of charge. They didn't charge me nothing. They just sent me the whole brand new one, and they just said, yeah, your old one was broke, so we just gave you the new one. I was like, dude, that's freaking awesome. So I might do a separate review on this scope by itself, but I will tell you it's a major upgrade, definitely from the old Strike Eagle. So I wanted to try an LPVO on this because a red dot can only tell you so much in terms of like, well, the main concern for a top-mounted removable rail like this is, does it hold zero? Does it maintain zero? Is it good enough, right? And the SHOT Show videos about the Fletcher Rifle Works receivers and railed tops like this one here, the main concern that a lot of people have was, oh, it's not going to hold zero. It's a removable thing. You can take it on and off the gun, and it totally ruins the zero, blah, blah, blah. And even the spokesperson there was talking about it. He's like, oh, yeah, it's minimal shift. And people were blowing it out of context way, like making a mole out of an anthill, right? And they were saying, oh yeah, this thing is absolutely terrible accuracy. It's so bad, right? But I guarantee you, most of those people who are making those comments do not have one of these and have not shot it very much. I will tell you, I do in fact have one. I have shot it quite a bit. So my experiences is really the topic of this video when it comes to this railed pick rail here on top of this gun. And let me show you the how it comes apart, right? So you got your retaining pin right here, which is central to this design. So we're just going to take that piece out, and we're just going to slide this right off the top. just like that. And now you can see all the guts inside, which of course is the main attraction for the 1122 design. Okay, put that down. So let me put these scope covers back on. Okay, so you can see right there that this scope is and its mount is attached to that Picatinny base right there. And you might say, well, that looks exactly like the original, just plain Jane top to the gun, and it kind of does. However, when I got this this base in, because I ordered it separately, I actually had a bit of a struggle to put that thing into the receiver because the tolerances and how it fit was so freaking tight. I was like, man, am I gonna have to sand this to make it fit into the receiver slot here? I was like, dude, it's so tight. So I really had to like well, finger pressure only. I didn't have to hammer it or anything. I just finger pressure, just slid it right in and put the pin in place, and it locked securely. I could not move it, couldn't wiggle it, I couldn't move it at all. So that was a really promising sign. And of course, you may have seen earlier, of course, but the pick rail matches up perfectly with the end of the integrated rail of the receiver itself, at least for this model. Like I said before, this is an early model. I'm sure that the new ones look a little bit different now, but it works perfectly. It's not interrupted or anything, so you can definitely put something across the break there. I'm not sure why you'd want to, because the whole purpose of this gun is to, of course, take that top cover off. So if you did mount something that bridged both slots here in the Picatinny rail, you'd have to, well, remove that thing in order to take the cover off. But it is a seamless rail. It works perfectly, and it fits very tight, which I think they definitely put a lot of thought into that to make sure that the retention of zero and everything else, the accuracy, mechanical accuracy base of this top rail was certainly good enough for, well, whatever you're going to do with a 1122. And I certainly found that to be the case. So in my testing, I've put probably, I don't know, 400 or 500 rounds through this thing now with this top cover, with this scope, and of course configured as you see, right? So I've ran it only with the suppressor. I have not run it without the suppressor. So all my accuracy testing, everything else was done, of course, just like you see here with the scope on. So I found at 25 and 50 yards, absolutely zero change in zero when using this LPVO here. So even all the way up to 6 power, crank that sucker up. I'm using like subsonic ammo, I'm using CCI standard, I'm using hypervelocity ammo like mini mags, velocitors, stingers, dude, like the whole gamut of 22 ammo. And in between each like string of fire, once I got this thing zeroed, I would take the scope off the gun here, still attached to the rail, of course, shake the rail around, kind of bump the receiver just a little bit, shake it around, do all kinds of little tests just to bump it, just to make sure, slide it on and off, put it back on, put the pin on, fire another group at 25 and 50 yards, and like I said, absolutely zero shift, for lack of a better term. Yeah, so really, I had no zero shift, no changes, nothing like that. It was perfectly on target. I mean, I was getting a nice little ragged hole, 25, 50 yards, absolutely no problem whatsoever with this scope. So of course, a scope at a much higher magnification will tell you a lot more than a red dot will at 25 and even 50 yards. So like I said, that's another reason why I wanted to use this. Putting a 3-9 or higher power magnification scope on something as ridiculous as this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. So I figured a nice 1-6 was a very good middle ground, and it certainly was. So yeah, a lot of folks out there who are concerned about zero shift and things like that, I'm here to tell you that even though this is an early model that did not come with this top pick rail from the factory, I've had absolutely no accuracy problems, no zero shift, nothing like that. And I've been pretty impressed, honestly. When they say, when FRW says that they take their manufacturing very seriously and their quality control is very tight and they have very exacting tolerances, I 100% believe that, because like I said, like trying to get that thing in here was much tighter than I thought it was going to be. And of course, the performance speaks for itself. So I have absolute confidence that the stuff that Fletcher Rifle Works is making is 100% good to go. Even with the takedown models, I don't see any problem with that because honestly, if people were going to see accuracy issues with those takedown models, they would have already seen them with the Ruger models, the Ruger factory models. And I haven't heard any stories of anybody complaining about that in really any meaningful way. So I'm not really concerned about the takedown models of it either. So it would be kind of interesting to see and get my hands on one of those at some point. Maybe I'll get my dad one as a gift because he really likes the takedown models because back in his day there was a rifle called a Marlin Papoose, and he was absolutely infatuated with that thing. He's like, oh man, it's the best survival rifle. I can stuff it in a tiny little bag and it's so small and it's the best survival thing ever. And he was losing his mind. So when Ruger came out with the stainless model 1022 takedown, he lost his mind. He's just like, I have to have it. So he went and got one. But of course, the 1122 design is even better than Ruger's 1022 design. So just imagine that now with a takedown model, right? Super cool. So I just want to really kind of assuage the fears, okay, from people who do not own these rifles, these receivers, who have not tried it, who have not shot it a whole lot. I'm here to tell you, this railed system here, it just works, right? In the words of Todd Howard, it just works. Props if you get that reference. But yeah, this thing is really, honestly, quite tight. Kind of hard to get in there, but you gotta get, the pin's in the way. There we go. Cool. Just like that. And yeah, this thing absolutely does not move. I mean, you wouldn't really think it, just having just this one little like dinky little pin right there, just holding the whole thing together, you wouldn't think that would be enough for it to hold and maintain zero and accuracy and all that stuff, but it absolutely is. At least for me, in my testing, like I said, 25, 50 yards. Now, are you really going to use this, is Fugly really going to be a 100+ yard ultra super duper match competition gun? No. But then again, it's not meant to be, right? I've got a CZ457 for that, which is already proven to me. It's got sub MOA accuracy and a 22 bolt action, so that's awesome. But anyway, I really don't think a lot of people are going to be making like crazy benchrest 22 target match rifles with an 1122 receiver. I mean, I'm sure you could, but I think there are better options out there that have already been established for a long time. Like those crazy Volquartsen builds and things like that, where the rifle weighs like 20 pounds. That kind of crazy stuff. But for general purpose use, for pretty much everything except that, I think these 1122 receivers are absolutely 100% a product improved 1022 design, because it really does make the maintenance part of it so much easier. And I mean, that's like my big gripe with 1022s in general. It's just the maintenance part of it. Like nobody wants to clean a 1022, right? But with the 1122s, so much easier, so much better. So anyway, back to the original point. Yes, like I said, these rail top covers are good to go. I have absolute faith in FRW to make this whole system work. This example, Fugly here, has been pretty much 100% reliable, other than bad magazines, but I blame the magazines, not the gun. And this thing is just so much like absurdly fun. It's so compact and tiny. I mean, we got like an 8.5-inch barrel here with my Sensor Co. Warlock 2 suppressor on here. When I get one of those BX25 mags and load it up with subsonic ammunition and put the scope on here, like this scope is overkill, but it's just fun, and I've literally taken this out to the desert with friends of mine, just plinking away. I don't even need hearing protection, honestly. When I'm shooting even subs or supers out of this gun, I don't need hearing protection, ear pro, at all. I mean, it just sounds like it sounds like a really loud air gun. I've actually heard air rifles that are louder than this with the suppressor on there. So this thing is just an absolute, just heaps of fun. And that's the exact reason why I got it. Is purely for just fun, to see if I could, and you absolutely can. So I think it'd be pretty cool if a Fletcher offered something kind of similar to this, maybe a little bit more refined. I know they have their own chassis type system that they were going for. I think it's like the Bandera pistol or something like that. But honestly, it's a little pricey. I think they wanted like $800, $1,000, something like that. I'm sure it's a nice gun, but a little pricey for most people's taste, especially just for a fun 22 plinker like this. So yeah, but again, I can't say enough good things about Fletcher Rifle Works, the 1122 receivers, railed top covers, all that stuff, takedown models. Man, they got it all. So I'm really excited to see what comes next out of those guys. And you know, sometime in the future, I feel like I need to buy another one of these things, maybe a takedown model, do some more testing with it, and maybe make a more bench rest type of gun, you know, or maybe just take all the original components out of my original 1022 that I grew up with and just put it in an 1122 receiver just for fun, you know. But anyway, I just thought I'd bring it to you guys because it's been a little while since I've made a video, and with those SHOT Show videos, with FRW being on the scene there, and a lot of people making, frankly, ignorant comments about the accuracy potential of these guns, I'm here to tell you, it's perfectly fine. So, yeah, I'm also gonna be sending my own feedback to FRW as well, because they are quite receptive to customer feedback, which I think is pretty cool. So, like I said, I was one of the earlier customers, and I was jumping on this train years ago when they first came out with these things, and I guess they took my feedback to heart, and they made all the things that I wanted. So, you know, consider me a happy customer. So I always think it's super cool when a company like that actually listens to their customers and like responds to emails and like talks to you and says, hey, you know what, that's a great idea, we're going to try putting that in production. And lo and behold, I mean, it took a few years, but hey, they did it, right? That's pretty cool. So yeah, if you're really looking for something different and a new take on the 1022s, Fletcher Rifle Works 1122s is the way to go. Cool. So just want to bring it to you guys, and if you have any concerns or whatever, you got questions, you know, ask me, ask FRW even. They might have a better answer for you, but you know, I know from my personal experience and from my testing and things like this, at least with this exact platform here, I've had very, very good results. So I'm quite happy with that. So anyway, I wanted to bring it to you guys, and hopefully, you know, you might have learned something and have more confidence in buying, you know, this kind of product and stuff. I'm not sponsored, not paid for FRW in any way whatsoever. Just so we're making that clear. I just like their stuff. You know, I just think they're neat, right? So, yeah. Anyway, also I do have a Ko-Fi that's in the description as well. So if you like my stuff, if you learned something, or you think my experience and inputs is valuable to you in whatever way, and it's helped you make a purchase, more informed purchase, or enjoy something a little bit better, or you just learned something, hey, feel free to drop a a little donation in there. You know, buy me a coffee, something like that. So all of it is appreciated. So yeah, that's all I got for now, and we'll see you next time.